Hello, welcome to Cognitive Psychology class. My name is Dr. Shri, and this is the instructional video. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how this Blackboard site is organized so you always know where to find what you need. As you can see here, you'll see three important tabs for this course. There are several, but the most important ones are the Content tab for all the materials for this class, the Announcement tab for updates, and the Messages tab to reach me. On the content page, the right side has some important information about the books and tools, and there is a specific section which will show you how to access your e-textbook if you signed up for one. Begin with the Start Here section. It contains a welcome video, the course and syllabus and calendar, and also contains short navigational videos. When you click on this, you'll see there is the introduction video, but there is also this navigational video. So whenever you feel lost, you can always come back to the Start Here section and watch this navigational video to learn how to access information. After the Start Here tab, the course is organized by weeks. Week 1, content, followed by week 2 and week 3. And each week contains multiple units, and the pattern is same for every week. So once you know one week content, you'll know them all. So let's look at the week 1 content. At the top of each week and every week, you'll find 3 pinned items in this order, which is week overview. This is week 1, so it says week 1 overview. Instruction and rubric for VT assignments, which you'll see for every week that has a VT assignment, which is 4 out of 5 weeks have VT assignment, and these VT assignments will actually have the instructions for it and a VT assignment itself. So open this and watch this instructional video about how the VT assignments are graded and how you need to record your VT assignment. You can use this particular rubric and instruction. The assignment itself can be accessed here. Again, the specifics of what happens here and how you can access the VT assignment. The VT stands for voice thread, can be found in this one. The VT assignment for each week, right, is pinned at the top, so you can't miss it for the week. And the initial response for the VT assignment is due by Friday, and the final re-response is due by Sunday, and that's usually the case. And when you watch the instructional video for the VT assignment recording, you'll actually understand better what these due dates mean and why they have different due dates. Now, let's look at deeply what is week 1 overview. When you click on week 1 overview, it actually gives you a week overview table. A week overview table, this is week 1, so it's a week 1 overview table, is a 4-column table. A unit column, it talks about the units that are assigned for that particular week, the topics for each of those units, and what students should do, or your to-do list of readings, lectures, handouts, and Kahoots, all those are listed here. It also lists in the final column the items to submit or complete, the graded deliverables like quiz or the VT discussion assignments. If you ever need one screen answer to what do you do for a given week, you can always look at the week overview table. Now, as I said, each week, in addition to having these week overviews, VT assignment details, and grading instructions for that, and recording instructions for that, each week will have its own set of units. For instance, it says here, week 1 covers units 0, 1, 2. Please go over the content, practice, and assignment sections for each of the units. So meaning that you need to finish all the things required for each of these units. Let's look at one of this unit, right? And within each unit, you'll find following items that are pinned in that order for every unit. First thing you'll notice is the overview table, then the content, right? Then the knowledge check and the assignment itself. When you look at the unit overview table, it starts with the unit learning objective. For instance, this particular unit 0 has 2 learning objectives, and the learning objective for a given unit starts with the unit number followed by the number of that objective. So this is the first objective related to unit 0. This is the second objective related to unit 0. That's why these are called 0.1 and 0.2. And these describe the main objectives of the class. And below this is the table, the unit task table. Let's call this a unit task table. It has tasks for that unit, assignment or activities assigned for that unit, and due dates that usually there are some assignments that are due at specific time, right? And it talks about when they are, what they are. All assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. So quiz 0 is due by 11:59 p.m. And the unit learning objectives column gives us information about which objective each task supports. So you always know why you are doing a particular task. So let's go back to the content section of a given unit. When you click on that, the content section holds the lectures, readings, and the handouts. And the knowledge check section contains the unit Kahoots. For example, Unit 0 Kahoot. Kahoots are a good way to actually review your basic understanding, not in depth, but basic understanding of the content that you've learned in the unit before you actually take up any of the assignments like quizzes. And these are optional, and you can take them as many times as you want. And assignment is where you will find quizzes, and within the material section in the content, when you open it, you'll see the actual video lectures followed by the presentation slides and also any handouts if there are for a given unit. So a quick recap then. So this is the cognitive psychology class, and you will be referred to as cognitive Sherlocks. That's why you see cognitive Sherlocks listed here, right? A male cognitive Sherlock and a female cognitive Sherlock. And here is the Start Here button, and when you click on the introduction, you'll see introduction video here. And within this instructional video, there is also a passage that describes the methodology this class uses called the cognitive Sherlock approach, based on an article I published in 2024 about how courses like these should be taught. And this was actually based on my years of teaching this class. And you can understand the logic of how the information is presented in this class by actually going over this particular article, which gives you a big picture overview of how the material is presented to you in this class, so that you learn in a particular style that I designed for classes of this sort by taking this class as an example. Now, in addition to that, university course policies can be found here. Office hours and student resources information can be found on this tab. So that's why Start Here tab is very important. And each week we'll have the important information related to the overview and the VT assignment if there is any. Let's look at Unit 1 to kind of go through what we did for Unit 1. Each unit will have an overview which lists all the assignments that are assigned for that particular unit, including the learning objectives for that unit. Then the content itself will have materials section in which you'll see video lectures and the handouts or lecture notes. Now, here is another important thing. For each unit, you'll see a section called meta questions. These meta questions are like your study guide questions, but at a very different level. These are the questions I want you to keep in mind when you are learning content from a given unit. Why is it important? Well, you'll understand it if you actually read the teaching philosophy behind this cognitive Sherlock approach that I'm using for this class that I referred to earlier. So this is like basic information, and within some specific units, we'll have more videos if it needs additional information. This one, final exam, the final exam has information about when something is due and the link to take it. And there is also a section on final paper. If you click on it, it'll give you details about where to find what and what is expected of it. Okay, so this is a quick overview of how to navigate through course website to find the right information. I hope it was informative. Have a good rest of the day.